I've been that guy. While you was at home doing this, I was in the club making moves.
Jake Paul, if this is not going to be, curated into a little dance around exhibition, could find himself in a way of getting seriously hurt here, like Francis Ngannou did. Francis Ngannou was an MMA fighter that got blasted out by Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua has finally spoken up after Jake Paul's new training clip shook social media, with fans breaking down every slow-motion punch and power combo from Paul's recent camp video. Joshua's response adds new energy to the rising buzz. As a former unified heavyweight champion, AJ is not someone who gets impressed easily, but he is clearly watching closely. And with Paul looking sharper, faster, and more focused than ever, Joshua's reaction shows both respect for Paul's growth and belief that experience will win when they finally meet on fight night.
Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua, really, in my view. It's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area level fighter, a British area level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute. The people that are talking about organising that, they should have a real hard look at themselves.
But even Eddie Hearn's kind of teasing he doesn't like it, but you can see the glitz of dollars.
There's no price. There is no price.
There shouldn't be.
There's absolutely no price.
Agree with you.
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua should not interfere with the path leading to Fury and Joshua. In my opinion, it is an absolute joke of a matchup, and it should not be sanctioned at all. I honestly think it should never get approval. I know it would likely become a huge fight, but most of the interest would come from people wanting to see if they actually end up sharing a ring, because Jake Paul is still an area-level British fighter while Anthony Joshua remains a dangerous and active heavyweight. A fight like that should not be sanctioned anywhere, in my view. It is extremely risky, mate. Very risky. It damages the reputation of the sport. The people discussing putting that event together need to seriously think about what they are doing, because even Eddie Hearn is teasing it. He says he does not like the idea, yet you can tell there is curiosity. But there should be no offer at all, because the fight makes no sense and it is simply unsafe.
To fight Anthony Joshua now. How do you think that's going to go?
Man, Anthony Joshua, I don't know why I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out. No disrespect to Jake Paul, I think Anthony Joshua would knock him out. I'm saying like within like 2-3 rounds.
Yeah.
You saw what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
Come on. I've never seen Francis get knocked out.
Yeah, it's huge too.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
huge.
both huge.
Yeah, he's huge. But you gotta hear the story. You gotta get Francis Ngannou in here and hear this story though.
I'd love to.
Bro, he was set up though, for real.
On that fight?
Yeah, I believe him. Cause here's what they do, like what sometimes when people don't understand. Like in boxing too, I don't know a whole lot about boxing. When you fight for promotion, they promote that fighter. So he's fighting in Saudi Arabia. So they was probably fighting at 3 a.m. and they had him in the locker room since like...
Back when Paul was still getting started in boxing, Joshua gave what many saw as a surprisingly friendly endorsement in a 2025 interview. When asked about Paul, Joshua simply said he is good for boxing. That early comment showed he was willing to recognize Paul's impact on bringing more attention to the sport, even if many people questioned Paul's future in it. Now things have changed. The fight is no longer just talk, and the stakes are much higher. Paul enters with a 12-1 record with 7 knockouts, making this the toughest test of his career. Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion, comes in with a 28-4 record.
Do his job. I could sit up here, as I said, and try and address all the things that Jake doesn't do good, but I'm fighting the Jake that's going to do everything good on December 19th. So let me focus on that. He's a good person, does his thing, great team around him, puts in the work, and that's why he's sitting here now. Anyone out there in the world that works harder than the next person deserves to be a front runner, and he's a front runner in the boxing game right now.
Respect. Jake, can I ask, it feels to me from afar, you're in a bit of a lose-lose here, because it seems like a lot of people want to see you get obliterated, right? A lot of people want to see you get your comeuppance. And if you do pull off the upset, or if this fight goes the distance, again, the whispers will start to come. People will discredit you. People will say, this, that, and the other about the fight. How do you balance that, and how do you deal with that?
Man, I've already won at every single thing in life. I'm playing on house money. I've accomplished all my dreams, said everything I was going to do, from becoming, the first influencer to become an actor on Disney, to becoming the biggest YouTuber in the world, to rising to the top of boxing and having the largest viewed fight in the history of the sport. I've accomplished everything, so this is a win-win and another challenge for myself. I've never been knocked down or knocked out even in sparring, but I'm in a sport where that happens, and I know this is dangerous, but this is no different than a soccer player, losing in the World Cup on the biggest stage. If that's how it goes, if I take one of those punches that Francis Ngannou took and I'm on the canvas, let's see how tough I am. Let's see if I can get back up. But I'm ready for that. I'm prepared for that mentally, and I know that he has to deal with me as well. This is not as one-sided fight as people think, and I have power. I have the ability to put people to sleep, and so that's why I took this challenge. And I know it's crazy and all of that, but I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited. My team's excited, and everyone believes in me, and that's all that matters.
How much do you expect to weigh on fight night?
Man, I was cutting down for Gervonta, so it's been a little tough getting back up in some strength for this, but anywhere 215 to 225, we'll see.
Okay, and I want to clear something up with you, AJ. I saw in the press release that it said that on weigh-in day, you can't weigh above 245, but post weigh-ins, you can weigh whatever you want. There's no rehydration clause or anything like that. Is that accurate?
Whatever it says, yeah, I think that's the case, but my focus, 111 kilograms is what I got to weigh in at, right? I do kilograms, not
Yeah,
pounds.
I don't know, you stumped me on that one. What is 111?
In their first public face-off at the November 21st press conference, Joshua spoke directly and made his point clear. He stressed that this is a serious professional fight, calling it massive, colossal, and a major sporting event that mixes star power with real ability. He made it clear that his only focus is the fight and that there will be no mercy. At the same event ahead of their December 19th matchup, Paul was asked what he expects to weigh. He explained he had been cutting weight for another fight, which means he had been trying to drop pounds, making this move to heavyweight tougher. He guessed his weight would land somewhere between about 215 pounds and 225 pounds.
Real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to fight. The world. Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance.
Teddy Atlas has a cautiously interested view of the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. He warns that this could be too big of a leap for Paul because of the massive difference in skill and experience, but he does not completely rule the matchup out. Atlas mentions Joshua's recent knockout loss and long time out of the ring, saying those past issues could make him vulnerable. Even though he admits Joshua is still the more talented and harder hitter, Atlas says he is willing to see what happens and find out which version of AJ shows up.
Having said all of that, this might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down. When I say that with the understanding, too, that Joshua's coming off being knocked out. Joshua hasn't fought for a year, right? But it's about a year. And there's some ghost in his attic. There are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten rid of some of them, but I know that in the position of a fighter coming where he's coming from, there are ghosts in your attic. I don't know if those ghosts are still taking up space. I don't know if maybe there could be no better exorcism for those ghosts than fighting a Jake Paul. That might be just the exorcism you need to clear out the attic. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. That's the mystery part of this. That's what makes it So it makes it two things at once: intriguing and.
Ryan Garcia talks about how a loss to Anthony Joshua could be a life-changing moment for Jake Paul. He warns that Joshua's power should not be underestimated and a defeat could affect Paul not just physically but also damage his reputation and career path. The experience could be eye-opening, showing just how big the challenge really is. Garcia stresses that Joshua's skill and punching power make this a serious test and that the consequences of losing are very real. Proper training, preparation and focus are crucial for Paul to handle the risks Joshua brings to the ring. One key concern is that Joshua has only fought twice in the past 2 years. After a split decision loss to Alexander Usyk in 2022, his activity in the ring has been limited.
Yeah. Too easy.
Why did he take that fight?
I think he didn't have no opponents and he wanted to make Netflix happy, and I think he made a misstep. I think he was handling his career perfectly.
Yeah.
I think he would have beat Gervonta.
I think he would have beat Gervonta too.
But I think this is a big misstep. I think he let his ego get in from him.
Jake Paul taking on Anthony Joshua is more than just a big gamble. Many experts see it as a serious risk to his health. Boxing insiders like Ariel Helwani have pointed out that Joshua's strength and experience could put Paul in real danger, noting that the threat of a heavy knockout is very real.
Beaten 3 times. The 4 fighters that he beat didn't come to win. So he's not in his prime, is he? He's literally at the end of his career, pretty much finished. And this is why taking this fight with you is telling you all you need to know. It's a cash out. You might as well just cream as much money as he can at the end of his career, fighting an absolute joke shop in clown world. When I beat Anthony Joshua, he says, every doubt disappears. Come on. I mean, if this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a 1-round job because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury, for crying out loud. You can't jump in with Anthony Joshua now and expect to get a result. So, nothing's going to no doubt's going to disappear.
Rising heavyweight Moses Italma advised Paul to put his health before the money, cautioning that one wrong punch could have lasting effects. At the same time, former pro Amir Khan warned plainly that Joshua could do serious damage and that there is a real risk of brain injury.
Spark him out in like 2 rounds. Really? No, why do you look surprised when I don't. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying. Come on, bro. You're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's going to get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. I mean, AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
When you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you don't look. You can't be surprised if AJ is going to do the same to what's it called again?
MMA fighter Darren Till has joined the discussion, calling Jake Paul's challenge to Anthony Joshua disrespectful. He feels that despite Paul's marketing abilities, he hasn't earned the right to take on one of boxing's biggest stars. Many in the boxing world agree with Till, believing that Paul is overstepping and moving beyond his level.
Is it all just, does he actually believe that he can beat Anthony Joshua? Is it all for clout? Is it all just to keep his... I don't know. I mean, fucking... It's a little bit disrespectful as well. Like, Anthony Joshua hasn't fucking been a heavyweight world champion, beating all these absolute killers just to get called out by Jake Paul. But look, if Jake Paul believes in himself, then, you know, you can't really fault that. Like, obviously, but sometimes it comes across as a bit delusion as well. Because I know for a fact that I'd fight Jake, I'd beat him up easy.
David Haye has issued a serious warning about the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight, calling it a clear mismatch. Speaking to Sky News, Haye said Joshua could do severe damage to Paul and expressed major concerns about Paul's safety. He warned that if Paul underestimates Joshua's size, power, and experience, the fight could be extremely dangerous for him. There is a huge physical difference between the two fighters. Joshua is 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach, while Paul is around 6 feet 1 inch with a 76-inch reach. Joshua usually weighs between 240 and 245 pounds and is capped at 245 for this fight. Paul, who spent most of his career as a cruiserweight, has bulked up to about 227 pounds for previous heavyweight bouts. This size and weight advantage gives Joshua a clear edge in both power and reach.
£100 million potentially. Are you confident it'll happen?
I wasn't confident when I first heard about it. It sounds like one of those fairy tale fights that people talk about but don't actually get over the line. I heard this 3-4 months ago. I just dismissed it. I heard it a week ago. I went along with it, but deep down I thought this isn't going to happen. And today it's been made official. Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match, boxing gloves, to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the planet. Someone who is Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice. Although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois, he's a top 10 heavyweight on the planet versus internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level. And he lost to Tommy Fury, for instance. And Tommy Fury, who he lost to, versus Anthony Joshua, they're two completely different sports. So I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured, maimed. And he believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality. He's manifested an amazing life for himself. He's a superstar. And I think he wants to try and do the unthinkable. He wants to. It's an insane challenge he's put himself up for, but you've got to give him credit.
You say an insane challenge. You've described it before as Jake Paul being a cat versus Anthony Joshua's lion.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not equally matched on any sense, are they?
There's not one element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15, 20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand next to each other. And Anthony Joshua, he's not a bodybuilder. He's a prime athlete. He's someone who's dedicated his life to this. He lives it. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's a real clean athlete who is going to inflict some horrendous damage to Jake Paul. And I hope we've got a referee in there who's quite compassionate, because if Jake Paul is...
On the other hand, Joshua's team is expecting a fast and decisive performance. Hearn has confidently predicted that Paul will be finished within 4 rounds, saying that once Joshua lands a clean shot to the chin, the fight will end. He describes the bout as an important step for Joshua to rebuild his reputation and possibly set up an even bigger fight in 2026, potentially against someone like Tyson Fury. The focus is now turning back to top-level heavyweight competition.
Not gonna lie, did not ever see this happening, like ever, ever, ever. So were you just as surprised when he agreed to do it as the world was?
Yeah, I mean, I had to deal with obviously knowing that it might happen, and then the contract coming through signed by Jake Paul, and I sort of looked at it, I was like, oh my God, he's done it. So yeah, look, I have to give him credit. I do think he's crazy. I think he's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Do you think Jake's crazy?
Yeah, I mean totally. I mean, listen, for us, we received an offer that was massive money and a really easy fight. We were talking about fighting this week here in an 8-round fight. Now we're fighting in an 8-round fight for 40 times more money against Jake Paul. So I love the opportunity for...
Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events and stories. Subscribe to Boxing Glory and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to check out our other videos. Until next time, take care and peace.